All praises, all praises, all praises to the heavenly, holy, almighty creator of infinity, eternity, the universe, and all there is. This is Revelations.Unveiled. Detroit. Hello, family. We are back together again in our wonderful consensual assembly of care, concern, and compassion for the brothers and sisters of the world, as well as the 12 tribes of the house of Israel scattered abroad to the four corners of the earth. All praises and family. We are back together again where we are exposing our cranial universes and bearing forth our souls to receive the heavenly, holy communication, radiation, and vibration of the holy word of the fire of the creator of all imagination. All praises. And family, we are resuming our series on the brother prophets as we are now back at the prophet brother Daniel, as we are now going to receive more of the wonderful gifts of the interpretation of dreams as given to holy brother prophet Daniel. And in our last episode, the emperor Nebuchadnezzar of the Babylonian Empire was amazed and befuddled and confounded at the holy power creator's grace and blessing as he walked amongst the fire of the furnace with the three holy children, the companions of Daniel in Babylon, Shadrach, Abednego, etc. And so, family, we shall resume with the wonderful understanding, the increase in our spiritual and historical insight so that we may continue as we are gravitating back to the holy covenant of our power, the power that led us and our ancestors out of the land of Egypt and established the everlasting covenant of righteousness. And so we give due honor to the Revelations.Unveiled. Detroit channel standards in the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 6, as well as the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 8. And as we continue to learn and discern, we employ the tool given by brother prophet Isaiah in his scroll of the 28th chapter, verses 9 through 11. So now, as we find our soft space in the place here at the Revelations.Unveiled. Detroit den, we shall become still, we shall become quiet, we shall enjoy the company of the brethren and sisters of light as we began our review of the holy mystery history of the hidden nation. All praises. The book of Daniel, chapter 4, verse 1. Nebuchadnezzar the king, unto all people, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth, peace be unto you, multiply. I thought it good to show the signs and wonders that the high God hath wrought toward me. How great are his signs, and how mighty are his wonders. His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and his dominion is from generation to generation. I, Nebuchadnezzar, was at rest in my house and flourishing in my palace. I saw a dream that made me afraid, and the thoughts upon my bed and the visions of my head troubled me. Therefore I made a decree to bring in all the wise men of Babylon before me, that they might make known unto me the interpretation of the dream. Then came in the magicians, the astrologers, the Chaldeans, and the soothsayers, and I told the dream before them, but they did not make known unto me the interpretation thereof. But at the last, Daniel came in before me, whose name was Belteshazzar, according to the name of my God, and in whom is the spirit of the holy gods. And before him I told the dream, saying, O Belteshazzar, master of the magicians, because I know that the spirit of the holy gods is in you, and no secret troubles you. Tell me the visions of my dream that I have seen, and the interpretation thereof. Thus were the visions of my head in my bed. I saw, and behold, a tree in the midst of the earth, and the height thereof was great. The tree grew and was strong, and the height thereof reached unto heaven, and the sight thereof to the end of all the earth. The leaves thereof were fair, and the fruit thereof much, and in it was meat for all. The beasts of the field had shone and had shadow under it, and the fowls of the heaven dwelt in the boughs thereof, and all flesh was fed of it. I saw in the visions on my head upon my bed, and behold, a watcher and an holy one came down from heaven. He cried aloud and said thus, Hew down the tree, cut off his branches, shake off his leaves and scatter his fruit. Let the beasts get away from under it, and the fowls from his branches. Nevertheless, leave the stump of his roots in the earth, even with a band of iron and brass, in the tender grass of the field, and let it be wet with the dew of heaven, and let his portion be with the beasts in the grass of the earth. Let his heart be changed from man's, and let a beast's heart be given unto him, and let 7 times pass over him. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men, and gives it to whomsoever he will, and sets up over it the basest of men. This dream I, King Nebuchadnezzar, have seen. Now you, O Belteshazzar, declare the interpretation thereof, forasmuch as all the wise men of my kingdom are not able to make known unto me the interpretation, but you are able, for the spirit of the holy gods is in you. Then Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, was astonished for 1 hour, and his thoughts troubled him. The king spoke and said, Belteshazzar, let not the dream or the interpretation thereof trouble you. Belteshazzar answered and said, My lord, the dream be to them that hate you, and the interpretation thereof to your enemies. Verse 20. The tree you saw, which grew and was strong, whose heights reached unto heaven, and the sight thereof to all the earth, whose leaves were fair, and the fruit thereof much, and in it was the meat for all, under which the beasts of the fields dwelt, and upon whose branches the fowls of the heaven had their habitation. It is you, O king, that are grown and become strong, for your greatness is grown and reaches unto heaven, and your dominion to the end of the earth. And whereas the king saw a watcher and a holy one coming down from heaven, and saying, Hew the tree down and destroy it, yet leave the stump of the roots thereof in the earth, even with a band of iron and brass, in the tender grass of the field, and let it be wet with the dew of heaven, and let his portion be with the beasts of the field, till 7 times pass over him. This is the interpretation, O king, and this is the decree of the Most High, which is come upon my lord the king, that they shall drive you from men, and your dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field, and they shall make you eat grass as oxen, and they shall wet you with the dew of heaven, and 7 times shall pass over you, till you know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men, and gives it to whomsoever he will. And whereas they commanded to leave the stump of the tree roots, your kingdom shall be sure unto you. After that you shall have known that the heavens do rule. Wherefore, O king, let my counsel be acceptable unto you, and break off your sins by righteousness, and your iniquities by showing mercy to the poor, if it may be a lengthening of your tranquility. All this came upon King Nebuchadnezzar. At the end of 12 months, he walked in the palace of the kingdom of Babylon. The king spake and said, Is not this great Babylon that I have built from the house of the kingdom by might of my power, and for the honor of my majesty? While the word was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to you it is spoken, the kingdom is departed from you. Verse 32. And they shall drive you from men, and your dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. They shall make you eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over you, until you know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men, and gives it to whomsoever he will. That same hour was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar, and he was driven from men, and did eat grass as oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till his hairs were grown like eagle's feathers, and his nails like birds' claws. And at the end of the days, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted up my eyes unto heaven, and my understanding returned unto me, and I blessed the Most High, and I praised and honored him that lives forever, whose dominion is an everlasting dominion, and his kingdom is from generation to generation. And all the inhabitants of the earth are reputed as nothing, and he does according to his will in the army of heaven and among the inhabitants of the earth, and none can stay his hand or say unto him, What doest thou? At the same time my reason returned unto me, and for the glory of my kingdom my honor and brightness returned unto me, and my counselors and my Lord sought unto me, and I was established in my kingdom, and excellent majesty was added unto me. Verse 37. Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and extol and honor the King of heaven, all whose works are truth, and his ways judgment, and those that walk in pride he is able to abase. All praises. And we see, family, the heathen are even taught the ways and the power and the order from the holy power creator. The emperor of Babylon himself was reduced to that of a beast, grazing and growling and prowling around on the ground due to the pride and arrogance of what he thought was his hand in establishing the empire of the Babylonians, and then taking the holy children into bondage. This is also contributing once again to our spiritual increase as we see that the holy power creator has gifted his children with divine powers of discerning, prophecy, the revealing of his word. And so our holy brother prophet Daniel has again given instruction and clarity to the emperor of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar. And Nebuchadnezzar now himself has given the glory and the honor to the true and only power of all. So family, we will continue with our review, our increase and expansion into the understanding of this excellence into eternity. We are the 12 tribes of the house of Jacob. We are coming into the clarity of the covenant, the divine law given to us by the only true power of the universe. So family, I look forward to us reconvening in love, comfort, joy, and safety as we continue to persevere and endure. So, until we are together again, I love you. I love you. I love you. This is Revelations.Unveiled. Detroit.